before we get into the main stuff, we're going to talk about what went down on Twitter yesterday. You know what I'm saying? And what went down on Twitter was some more value chain utilization, right? Elon Musk has a resource, which is a massive social media platform. He granted that massive social media platform to somebody who he feels shares his worldview or shares a view that would be beneficial to him of the world, to spread his message to millions of people. If I'm not mistaken, when I looked at the stream when it was live, I think there was like 42,000 people. All right, it was like 42,000 people. So the sound, so NY State of Mind says the sound is bad. How is the sound bad or is it good? I checked the mic to make sure that everything was okay. It looked okay on my end, but sometimes you never know when it comes to StreamYard. So let me know if you guys can hear me okay and the sound is good. Then let me know. If it's not, then also let me know. It might just be just you, NY State of Mind. I don't know though. It's good on. All right, Torian says it's good on his end. Yeah, I would try to come out and come back in. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that helps. All right. So we got value chain utilization. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Do you think that Vivek Ramaswamy, or I'm sorry, do you think that Elon Musk will let Vivek Ramaswamy, or I'm sorry, let me start that all over again. Do you think that Elon Musk will allow Tim Scott to utilize Twitter to get his message out? If you guys think that he will, give me a thumbs up. If you guys think that he won't, give me a thumbs down. As a matter of fact, I got a question for you guys. Can you all predict who Elon Musk will let use Twitter? He provided a platform for Tucker Carlson. He provided a platform for Ron DeSantis. He's provided a platform for Vivek Ramaswamy. Now, my question for you guys is, why do you think that occurred? Why do you think that those things occurred? Torian says, so far, he's let Ron the Snowflake and Ramen Noodles use the platform. They have the same talking points, anti-woke. And would you agree that Elon Musk believes that? Elon Musk has the same worldview, right? So now here's my question. Should a sane person expect to be able to utilize Elon Musk's resources to disseminate messages that are against Elon Musk's worldview? Is that a sane thought process to think that he'll let anybody do that? That's my question for you guys. Should it be expected that Elon Musk would let anybody who counters his worldview utilize his platform to spread their messages or get a special invite? I'm going to ask, here's my question. Would you guys allow a KKK member or a neo-Nazi to come onto your platform and explain why the extermination of black people is imperative for world improvement? YouTube manual reviewer, that wasn't hate speech. That was an allegory, a metaphor. None of us would do that, right? So here's my question. Is it logical to assume that Elon Musk should or would allow anybody to do that? So now when people ask the question and they say, well, Elon Musk let. Yeah, Elon Musk is running a business. And Elon Musk is part of a larger business. And that larger business is WS. And if the product of WS is class escalation through anti-black racism, you're not going to utilize your platform to allow black people to effectively defend themselves, because we are the base and the main resource of the business. What does that mean? What that means is that we have to create our own value chains so that when we have people that we want 41,000 people to listen to, we have the reach, we have the resource, and we have the ability to broadcast that message. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. Twitter, YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, any of these platforms will never be that. They'll never be that. We have to make our own. Now, it doesn't matter who uses the platform if you're able to change the rules, right? So, of course, you can have some content creators here or there, but when you want to shut them up, it's easy. You just pull the plug, just like how they pulled the plug out of everybody's head on the Matrix, right? So there's a lot of steps that need to be taken. You know what I'm saying? What if we were able to give why am I drawing on Marcel Dixon? What if we were able to give Marcel Dixon access to an entire social media network that had billions of people on it to talk about his message? Do you think it would have been a higher likelihood of him beating Jim Clyburn? What if we had a business like Twitter and we're able to tax-free donate to his campaign fund? You think it would have been a higher likelihood of him beating Jim Clyburn? These are all things that we can do between political cycles while not voting. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 18 live viewers and we got 10 likes. If everybody could smash the like button and get the likes over 20, that would be great. So, I mean, like, these things are not rocket science. These are things that people need to start organizing and putting into place. People need to start raising their kids with these kind of initiatives in mind, not with the initiative in mind of when I graduate from college or when I get my certificate, I'm going to go work for somebody. No. Work for yourself. Work for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Or at least try. Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk lament fight among old men in Ukraine. All right. Vivek Ramaswamy participated in an interview with Elon Musk on Friday to discuss the latest in Ukraine. So now here's my question. Who cares what Vivek Ramaswamy thinks about Ukraine? Why should anybody care about what he thinks in Ukraine? He's not a political analyst. He's not a military strategist. What knowledge does he have that makes him a legitimate source of information to listen to about a global, international, transnational conflict? What gives him that legitimacy? Elon Musk just fake legitimized him by handing him his platform to be able to have access to all of the subscribers as well as all of the control devices. If we don't ever have resources that can compete with those kind of things, we're never going to be able to have the control devices. Would you guys agree? If you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down. The interview was aired on X, formerly known as Twitter, via its Spaces feature that allows for live conversations similar to a radio interview. Ramaswamy and Musk have been vocal in their respective X posts about their opposition to any U.S. intervention in the war between Russia and Ukraine. Billionaire David Sachs was also featured as a host for the conversation, which at one point had 47,000 listeners and 7,000 comments. Okay. So that's a lot of engagement, and it's a lot of engagement for free. You know what I'm saying? The thing about that the thing about that bothers the heck out of me is that I think it was in April of the first year of the war. In April 2022, Zelensky was ready to come to the table for peace negotiations, Ramaswamy said. And then the U.S. convinces Zelensky to fight on by saying, no, we are going to arm you. I think that was actually the real mistake. We've made this worse. Is my concern actually relative to the two nations just working it out amongst themselves? All right. So now, again, I don't disagree with what Vivek Ramaswamy is saying here in this particular instance about the war. However, resource utilization is the key here, right? I mean, I say this kind of stuff about the Ukraine war every day, but guess what? No value chain. Now, we could create value chains, right? We could build our equity, but people like Ice Cube ignore our platforms. People like Ice Cube would rather sit down and talk to Bill Mayer and rather sit down and talk to Tucker Carlson than sit down and talk to Phil Scott or TD Hip Hop Media. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. People make their choices. We need to also look at Ukraine and Russia, not as Russia is a pure devil and Ukraine is a pure angel. Whoever wrote this article, it was really poorly edited. There are no angels in war, Musk said. As we speak, the flower of Ukrainian youth is dying in trenches. So there better be a damn good reason for that. It actually has to matter. Why are those boys fighting? For what? Well, for one, they're fighting a race war. And we're going to act like we don't know that? Or are we going to act like they're fighting a race war and that's what Elon Musk grew up in and is part of his ideology? And for two, why do we care what's going on in Ukraine? I sure don't. And I gotta agree, Torian. I bet you Ice Cube did get a nice 5-figure sum to sit down with him. Facts. But the thing is that Ice Cube knows the value of his presence and what those people, Bill Mayer, Tucker Carlson has an interview with Andrew Tate that's about to break the Oprah Winfrey interview with Michael Jackson record, right? Ice Cube, being in entertainment himself, he knows the value of being able to bring his presence somewhere and increase the value of it, right? He knows that. He's been in hip hop this entire time. He's responsible for people like Mac 10 and Lynch Mob. You know what I'm saying? He knows how his proximity to Mac 10, his proximity to Lynch Mob gave them credibility. Same way Lloyd Banks, Tony Yayo, Young Buck in the height of the G Unit era, their proximity to 50 Cent gave them increased legitimacy. He knows that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes the payment that you get out of something is not always money. You know what I'm saying? But these people, these celebrities, they don't have any values. And then when people have a celebrity that they really like, a lot of people like Ice Cube because of the contract for Black America. And that's cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to him for doing that. Appreciate you, bro. But at the same time, that's one thing. There's other things that you could do to help. If you actually care about increasing the racial wealth gap, wouldn't bringing eyes to black platforms help with that? It might not help nationwide, but it would help. If you feel like you're being gatekept by the media, if you helped us grow our platforms larger to where our platforms would be able to somewhat compete with the media, wouldn't that help you to not be gatekept, not be gatekept? You know what I'm saying? I mean, this stuff is common sense. And as long as we got people moving like that, nothing's going to move for us. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's more important to sit down and talk with Bill Mayer or sit down and talk with Tucker Carlson, it's more important than it is to sit down and talk with the Black Authority or Tariq Nasheed or, you know what I'm saying, TD Hip Hop Media or Phil Scott. As long as that's more important, then nothing's going to change. And as long as people are emotionally attached to these people to the point where they think that these people are these deities and these entities and somebody can't simply criticize them, you holding your own self back. Yeah, exactly, Tori. In fact, and the reason why is because it gives Marcel Dixon some eyes. People can see what he's talking about. People can see what he's about. They could decide whether they like what he's saying or not. And it gives you legitimacy as a interviewer. People want to come and sit down and talk with you. Yo, you know, Torian, I saw you did a really nice professional interview with Marcel Dixon. I'd like to come on your platform and talk to your and talk to your audience and possibly, you know, be introduced to some of your colleagues that create content, and maybe I'd be able to, you know, get to know some of them and be able to come onto their platform and talk to their audiences. That's how you build networks. But because we live in this world where past generations have simply told children, it hammered it into our heads to just go to school and get a job, you don't have to learn how to build or make a network. You know what I'm saying? We get taught and encouraged to go to work. When you build a value company, when you build a value chain, when you build an enterprise, you network, you create a conglomerate. We don't get taught that. It's time for that to change if people want things to change. And because people are on wobbly stances with that, you know, it's like a rookie. It's like a brand new deer that just was born trying to learn how to walk. People try to poke their chests out and just automatically use this. Oh, I don't mess with nobody because I can't trust anybody. Hey, what you saying about your people if you can't trust anybody then? Don't get mad if you go around saying you can't trust anybody and then somebody else says, well, I don't do business with those people because they're not trustworthy. And then you say, hey, wait a minute. What do you mean? What he means is the exact same shit you just said. Just like Tim Scott, which we're going to get to in a minute. But this is what I'm talking about the old outdated ideologies, the old outdated theories, and the old outdated practices that people are still working with, and then sitting there scratching their heads, literally wondering why there's not a lot of progress. There's not a lot of progress because there's no evolution on thought. If the theory of relative, if Newton's law remained the major theory of physics, would we be anywhere? Would we be able to fly hypersonic planes? If the theory of relativity remained the main theory, would we understand anything about time travel and light movement? If quantum physics didn't evolve, would we know anything about thermodynamic theory? Black holes? Things have to evolve. When things don't evolve, what happens to them? They cease to exist because everything else around you is constantly changing and evolving. So now here it says, do they actually want to be there either? Why are these young men dying? Musk would go on to ask, because of their disagreements amongst old men. And the thing is that it's always been like that. It's not anything new. Ramaswamy is facing off against 11 other Republican candidates for the 2024 GOP presidential nomination. As the youngest candidate, Ramaswamy has qualified to appear at the first RNC debate on August 23rd with his combined polling numbers of 70,000 individual donors. So again, let me ask you guys a question. Is 70,000 individual donors a value chain? Shout out to Tabith. No problem. I'm glad you enjoy. 70,000 individual donors. If each of those donors donated $1, that's $70,000. Each of those donors donated $2, that's $140,000. 3, 210,000. 4, 320,000. 5, 350,000. $5 from each of those individual people will get you $350,000. I would say that that's the value chain. You know what I'm saying? During the Spaces conversation, Ramaswamy revealed that 40% of his contributors made their first donations to the Republican Party in supporting him. Now, again, we don't know if this is true or not. This is just something that he said. We haven't seen any financial paperwork. So, you know, this is just a claim that he's made until it's proven. Shout out to my man Torian. Torian says, unfortunately, a lot of black people still don't understand the money part in politics. And Rob, did you see the screenshot I sent you from Greg Foreman? Nah, I didn't see it. I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna look at it once I get off though. I didn't check my Twitter messages before I go live. I don't know if you probably noticed this, Torian, but like I do everything like in bunches. Like I'll go like hours without checking anything, and then like I'll check everything, and then like I'll shoot back like all the messages and reply like all the replies at once, and then like I disappear again. I'll always reply, but like it might not be immediate. You know what I'm saying? But I do agree. So now, okay, so here's my thing, right? Torian says, unfortunately, a lot of black people still don't understand the money part in politics. Now, I agree with Torian on that, but I'm curious as to how the people in the comment section feel. Do you all agree with that as a general statement? Now, here's my question, right? What about the ones that do? What are they doing? I'm going to show you exactly what they're doing. Did you guys know that everything that black conservatives make videos about, speaking of Greg Foreman, everything that they talk crazy about is something that they themselves do? Were you guys aware of that? Here's my question. What value chain have black conservatives built to allow Tim Scott a platform to speak with billions of people? What have Greg Foreman and Officer Tatum and Candace Owens done? They've done nothing except for decrease the property value of their white paymasters. Oh yeah, I bring this question up, and this is how they found out today that the world is correct. And make no mistake, Tim Scott is fake outraged. Let me ask you guys a question. How many of y'all think Tim Scott actually cares that Ron DeSantis is doing what he's doing with the education curriculums in Florida? Tim Scott, for one, doesn't care at all. And it's ironic that he would be the loudest voice. It's ironic that Tim Scott would be the voice that's even louder than Jim Clyburn. Maybe somebody was busy changing Jim Clyburn's diaper when they started talking about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is the third presidential candidate for 2024 that has participated in a Spaces conversation after Democratic candidate Robert F. Kennedy, shout out to TD Hip Hop Media, Robert F. Kennedy actually went and talked to Math Hoffa, which is interesting. But on Math Hoffa's video that he did, he said that he was not in support of cash payment reparations to black people. And GOP candidate Governor Ron DeSantis. Musk revealed Friday that his platform X has received a new monthly high users of 541 million. So Musk has a network that he can utilize as a media platform to disseminate messages that he agrees with to 540 million people. Shout out to my man John Guillory. What's good with it? Okay, so my question for you guys is, what do you think about all of that? What do you guys think about all of that? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 34 people watching and we got 17 likes. If everybody can take a moment and hit the like button and get us over 30 likes, that would be great. The world is correct. Facts. I gotta agree with Torian. If you guys agree that the world is correct, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, you don't think that the world is correct, feel free to let us know how it's not. Shout out to Oil King and shout out to Sports and Political Channel of LB. All right. So what we're about to do is we're gonna look at some black conservative peers.